What is cracking YouTube? It is your boy Anthony Spritz, and this is Spritz 2 Live. And I've been doing a lot of things lately, but you already know I've been playing them games. And one cool free to play game that I've been playing is called the First Descendant. Now, the good news is there's a lot of good things going for it, mainly that it's addictive and like has a bunch of cool stuff in it that's like high value. Bad thing is some of the bad stuff had your boy uninstall it, but we about to get into all of that right here, right now. I'm back with another video, and you already know how we do. So without any more talking, man, let's get into this thing. Let's get it. The First Descendant is a free-to-play, massively multiplayer online role-playing looter shooter developed by Nexon, which is a Korean game company or whatever. So when I first saw this game, I thought it was going to be like a full paid release. It has some really good production value. That means good graphics, and the story looked interesting. Everything looked like it was going to be on point. Then they announced that it was going to be free to play. And when something is free to play, especially nowadays, I'm kind of weary of it. So I was late to the party. This was actually released around July 2nd, 2024, and I just recently got back into it and actually played the game. And with all the good stuff, man, everything felt great. The shooting felt great. It had like good voice acting and these cutscenes that you see in a game that you pay full price for. So that's the good part of it. You know what I mean? Like when you boot it up, it actually feels really good to play. It's addictive. You got different characters, and each character has their own specialization. That means their own skills, and they play drastically different. So there's incentive to play this game. I was actually really impressed with it. Now, with all that being said, like I said in the beginning, I have already uninstalled this game and it's already RIP'd. So you probably asking yourself, what the hell happened? And we're about to jump into that. But man, I just want to say that, this isn't coming from a place of hate. I actually really do like this game, and it has a lot of going for it, including a lot of that waifu cake, man. I'm telling you, this game has some very gorgeously Korean style characters in it, and it's just like, if you know, you know. I'll probably put something up on the screen just to show y'all what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, it introduces you to this world where the characters that you play are kind of like a mix between like Destiny, a little bit of Warframe, a little bit of X-Men. What I mean by that is your characters have special powers that are given to them, and they're able to use these skills and abilities that make them basically stronger than your regular soldier. And you're fighting against this alien race of people, and y'all are fighting for this technology called the Ironheart, I believe. It's your standard fighting for power type of story, but it's delivered in a way that's very really cool to see. I'm talking about high value cinematics and cutscenes, good voice acting. I was really actually interested in the story, and it was really cool to see a free to play game have that level of story. It does feel like Destiny and Warframe kind of had a baby, and it's like the love child of those two. So it was really cool. Everything felt on point. The shooting, the loot, you had a grapple hook in the game, things like that. So when everything started to click, the game is very addictive, and for a couple weeks I was really dead ass addicted to it, hopping on night after night, really putting in that work, really putting putting them hours in, going crazy. You already know how I do, especially with RPGs. So with all that being said, it has good graphics, it has nice responsive gameplay, good characters, decent story, good voice acting, all that. So what would make your boy uninstall it if it's that addictive? It's just coming with all the things to make it a slam dunk. Well, like I said in the beginning, there are some issues, man. There's some issues with this game, and it just makes it a little bit too much, right? And some of the issues that I'm about to touch on in detail are balancing, for sure, pay to win mechanics, for sure, grind, which is something I'm gonna have to go into detail with, because like I said, it's a RPG MMO style, so there's obviously gonna be grind, but there's too much even for this type of game. And just inconsistency with the loot, right? Like, I know I said earlier that the loot was good, but it gets to a certain point where the loot drops off, so it's 50-50, which I'll obviously, like I said, get into and all that. But those are the things that really just made me like throw my hands up and just cut it off. But yeah, let me tell y'all, man, We're gonna start off with balancing. Balancing is crazy in this game, in a bad way, and almost in a so bad it's good way, right? And what I mean by this is this, right? You'll load into a part on the map, and you'll start a quest, start a mission, and you can go solo or you can join somebody else's game when they start, or whatever. It's open. When you go through some of these missions by yourself, the amount of enemies and the amount of health these enemies take is way too much for a solo player. I've ran into that numerous times to where I'm playing by myself, I'm cooking as much as I can be, and there's literally armies of enemies coming at me, taking chunks and chunks of health with a fully leveled up character, gear on point, everything on point. I know how to, I already know, I know how to get down. Now listen, I can tell you that some games I'm just what I mean, dog water. I'm just cheeks in a bad way. You feel me? I'm sandy cheeks in a bad way. But with this game, I took the time to learn the mechanics. I grinded, got my character up, and it still didn't make a difference. Now when you load in with another character, whether it be you and another character or a whole squad of, I think, 5, it's you and 4 other players, you just wash everything, no matter the level or what character you're playing. Now that being said, like I mentioned earlier, each character has their own backstory, their own set of skills, and their own thing that they do like really good. So talking about balance, some of these characters are way stronger than others. For instance, there's a character named Frenya, I think her name is. I'm gonna try to find some shit to put up on screen, but she does poison. You level her up, and eventually, I've literally seen this numerous times, where her special, she can literally clear mobs, and it's instant because it's just her power is gas, it's venom, it's poison. She shoots a cloud of smoke, and it just clears everything. Literally, you just sit there, you stand there, you ain't got to do nothing. It's ultra easy mode. You just busting it out, you just busting it down. It's like, you ever been in an elevator with somebody and they just, you going up floors and you're trapped in the elevator with them and they just let off and it's just terrible. It's that times 100. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, all jokes aside, this balancing issue is crazy because I'm primarily a solo player. I'm a loser, and sometimes my friends that I do have, they got other shit going on and they don't want to be playing with me all day. So I'm joining randoms or I'm playing by myself, primarily playing by myself, and that was an issue. So balancing is atrocious in this game at the time of this recording. Next problem that we got to talk about, loot. Now, if you're making a looter shooter, the thing that you want to focus on, besides the obvious, story, gameplay, and all that, is your loot, right? It's in the name. Now, this game does it right when you first start. Like, when I first started, I was getting these loot drops, and it was amazing, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm getting cool guns, everything. Towards the middle to ending part of the main story, the loot starts to drop off, and you start to get kind of like loot that's not as good. At least was my experience, and I tended to just stick with a couple guns that I had towards the end, which is disappointing because up to that point, the loot and the gun drops and the stuff that affects your character was actually really good. Side note, also, this game has some light platforming sections. Some of these platforming sections are a little bit much. Now, it doesn't punish you. It doesn't go to the point where it gets to be a detriment, but it's really fucking annoying. There's also parts of the game that have these like lasers with the platforming sections. I don't know. Somebody on the team probably just really likes heist movies, when they had the little heist movies and they going to rob some shit. And then so there's somebody that sprays some shit and there's like lasers everywhere. It's like that. There's like lasers every fucking where. You touch them, you get zapped, it takes health, and it's annoying as shit. Like, there's literal missions where I would be behind my team or whatever the case may be because I keep getting zapped by the lasers. I don't know, maybe my little caveman brain isn't enough to get past the little lasers with the grapple hook, but it was some bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna throw that out there. That was one for me. But level design is pretty okay. Besides the loot thing, also, right, loot drops, since we're on that topic, in order to unlock new characters, which I'll get into later, right, you have to keep doing these missions over and over again. The rate that you can unlock these characters is it's bad. It's bad. So you might have a 10% chance of unlocking an item you need. One item you need for a character, or a 2% chance or 5%. These chances are so low, bro, for one item, and you need probably like 15, 20 items to unlock one character, or you can pay for it. Yep, there's pay to win mechanics in this game, and they get annoying as shit. Yes, pay to win mechanics exist in this game. And at first, I was like, nah, it's cool. It's a free to play game. They offer the characters, you just have to grind towards them to get them. But once you get on that grind and you realize that it's just busy work, and the rate that you get the items to unlock each character is so low that they're literally funneling you into paying for the characters for real. And that's really why I'm making this video. All the other stuff that I mentioned could be overlooked, but that paywall, bruh, that paywall is crazy. They really just like funneling you into paying for these characters. You can throw money and buy a whole pack and like get a bunch of these characters all at once, while the other people who don't want to pay or can't, they don't have the resources to pay, we got to go through this grind, and it's so unnecessary and like so redundant that it's bad even for an MMORPG, right? When you play MMORPGs, there's always going to be some level of grind, but it's bad even for an MMORPG. These missions are redundant. It takes long to load in. The balancing, like I said, is trash, and like you have to keep running these missions, and you still might not get the damn specific item you're looking for. Like, to the point where I think the game was like going out of its way not to give me the stuff that I wanted. Like, I'm literally getting items that are supposedly really rare back to back to back, except for the thing that I wanted. Sometimes the thing that I wanted was less rare than the shit that I was getting. It's madness in this game, y'all. It's madness. So, yeah, that pay to win, that paywall, man. That paywall is crazy, man. And that's really one of the primary reasons why I uninstalled this game, right? Besides all the other stuff. All right, long story short, to wrap all of this up, I've been playing the First Descendant. It's been a fun experience. I think overall it's a great game. But when I look at the pay to win mechanics, and I look at everything else that's like wrong with the game, mainly the balancing issues, it really disappoints me because this game has a lot of potential, and I'm not saying that they couldn't fix it or like make it better going forward. But yeah, that paywall thing really hurt me because I was like, wow, I'm actually having fun. This is a good pay to win game. Pay to win. It's a good free to play game, but the pay to win stuff, it's ridiculous. I'm seeing people running around with all these new characters that I'm grinding for, and I'm just looking like, did they grind to get that, or did they pay for that? Because I'm over here trying to get, specific items and like material for this character, and I'm having a hard time. And that's one of like 20, 30 pieces of material that you constantly need to grind for to get. And the game is not really set up to where it's like fair, right? Where it's like, oh, it's a 2% chance or it's a 38% chance, but I'm not getting it. I'm playing the same mission back to back. I kid you not, 40, 50 times. I digress, right? The pay to win killed it for me. It has some good, really good things going for it. I really had fun. And on a side note, my main waifus was Sharon, where she turns invisible. She got the knives and shit. She kind of reminds me of Raiden from what yeah, from Metal Gear Solid. I'll fix it in editing. I'll put it up there in editing. But homeboy from Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Rising, and then my other waifu was Viessa, Ice Queen. You already know. But yeah, that's all I got to say. I'm done rambling. I just been talking, man. I got more videos on the way. We really out here at Spritz 2 Live. And without further ado, just like that, we gone.